Hello, everybody. Welcome to Middle East Dialogue 2024. And this year, we're hosting this conference at Villanova University. Our first presenter is Professor Ahmed Tsoni, who is a professor of political science, law, and international affairs from Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland. And he's going to present us the war in Gaza and the revival of the two-state solution. Let's welcome Professor Ahmed Tsoni. Professor, please start your
Yes. Good morning, everyone. At the beginning, I would like to thank the Middle East Dialogue team led by Mr. Daniel Gutierrez and his team for a wonderful job. My topic is the war in Gaza and the revival of the two-state solution between the Palestinian and Israel. In some, the current situation and the death of more than 32,000 from the Palestinian side and around 1,500 from the Israeli side, in addition to around 240 hostages taken by Hamas, was very much the result of a political failure. The political failure to move toward a two-state solution to the Arab-Israeli conflict, and a direction or a policy advocated by the USA since former President Barack Obama was in power and Vice President Joe Biden was with him, and now he is the president and he's following the same path, road to two-state solution. And this roadmap is supported by the other permanent members of the UN Security Council, the European Union leaders, and of course the Arab states and the Islamic states, and most members of the UN General Assembly. However, since Prime Minister Netanyahu came to power in June 2nd, 2021, until now, he is very much ignoring the two-state solution, okay, which is acceptable at the regional and international level. And he continued to build settlement using US tax dollars to build this settlement, and continuing to lead his country, Israel, toward uncertain road to settling the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, which this conflict is very much is the backbone of agreement between the Sunni Muslims led by Saudi Arabia and the Shiite led by Iran. For many scholars, they may think that both the Sunni Muslims and the Shia Muslims are different. Yes, Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims are different, maybe in some issues pertinent to the practice of Islam. However, both of them, they share the vision that Palestine is being occupied by foreign forces, supporters of the Zionist dream. Okay, so the current government, right-wing government of Israel, is perceived by both the Sunni and the Shia as occupying force. Also is perceived by the entire African continent led by South Africa as a foreign force, apartheid force. So the outcome of the war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas is already apparent. Okay, so it is clear that Israel, with its military superiority, backed 100% by the USA and taxpayers' money, is not strong enough relative or compared to Hamas, which is a terrorist organization according to the USA. Okay, and that also Hamas is not, as a terrorist organization, is not able to defeat Israel. So we are in situation where Hamas proved itself against the IDF, the Israeli military, that it can fight and kill, and actually it proved to the entire Arab Muslims and the Middle East and the entire world that the Palestinian cause is still alive. Israel does face unlimited threat from attack by the Palestinian, also in the depths of Israel, and in the West Bank. Lebanon initiated missiles attacked by Hezbollah and the Houthi in Yemen, who are preventing any shipment to Israel. Here we can see both the Sunni sects and the Shia sects, both of them are united to help Hamas. Of course, Hamas acted because of the frustration in the way the people in Gaza live, where Gaza economy is surrounded or in siege. There are other people in the West Bank, and also are being controlled by everyday measures initiated by the government of Netanyahu. Here, we remember, for scholars, there is something called the frustration aggression hypothesis. So the failure of the political solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict resulted in Hamas aggression. Okay? In practice, Israel will not be able to create almost any security structure in Gaza after the end of the hostility. Okay? And the USA, the prime supporter of Israel, is likely to lose its presence, military bases in Iraq, in Syria, in Jordan, Bahrain, and Qatar. Here again, all the Arab countries, they may have differences in the way they think or they rule their people, but all of them are united around that the holy Muslims and Christian sites, okay, in the West Bank, okay, it has to be under the Muslim underlying rule, okay, whether Sunni or Shia. We argue here that for the remainder of the Arab world, Israel is likely to confront a major direct military threat, first coming from Egypt, and the possibility of ending the 40 years peace treaty. Egypt is the first country to sign peace treaty with the Zionist state, and Egypt suffered a lot because of signing this agreement. Someone will tell me, well, the USA gave Egypt, was giving Egypt in the last 40 years or so, $2 billion in aid. Okay, it may be on the paper, but 99% of these around $2 billion of aid to Egypt is recycled here to the USA, okay, in the form of training contracts and in the form of buying military equipments and so on. By contrast, the US aid to Israel from taxpayers' money is cash and with no accountability on Israel on how to use this money. In fact, it is using this money to expand its illegal settlements. Okay? President Sisi of Egypt, due to his low popularity, now due to the dire economic position, may be motivated to take offensive military action against Israel to raise his popularity. And Egypt has the most powerful military in the Middle East. Okay? One may say, well, Israel has maybe more advanced military, but Egypt has more number. The army can be in few hours with the reserve can be 4 million carrying arms. Even though Lebanon is in turmoil politically and economically, Hezbollah, supported by Iran, can inflict heavy casualties in terms of missiles attack on nearby Israeli settlement and even reaching Tel Aviv. Okay, I believe there is some evidence that also North Korea is very much in touch with with Iran, coordinating with Iran, and of course North Korea is very supportive of the Palestinian cause. Okay,
Mhm.
Jordan population have more than 3/4 Palestinians, and Jordan has around 4 million. Okay, but 3/4 of them are Palestinians. In fact, King Abdullah wife is Palestinian. So they will put pressure on King Abdullah to uh, to show himself as a patriotic and champion of the Palestinian cause. So he may launch attack against Israel to protect his throne. Bashar al-Assad of Syria, okay, is supported by Russia, and President Putin of Russia, will not allow Assad regime to fall as a part of his geopolitical rivalry with the USA in the Middle East. Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates, the two Gulf states who formalized diplomatic relations with Israel, are likely to face serious pressure from Shia population, which both countries has large number of Shia population, which may turn to Iran for support to end their diplomatic relations with Israel. The crisis, as I mentioned, is the outcome of political failure. Hamas has stated that its attack was due to the blockade of Gaza Strip by Israel, the expansion of illegal Israeli settlements authorized by the far right government, coalition government of Netanyahu, and rising Israeli settler violence and recent escalation at Al Aqsa Mosque. The horror generated by Hamas attack on Israel settlement near Gaza should not distract attention from the fact that the crisis is the ultimate outcome of political failure. The immediate consequences to first the USA, that China, which now is competing with us, the USA, in all parts of the Middle East and the world. China is likely to seize the opportunity to criticize the US, and their public statement indicated that they immediately condemned Israel and the United States for what they are doing now in Gaza. Israel is bombing Gaza, and the United States is supplying it with arms with mass destruction. Our president, he mobilized aircraft carrier to move quickly to the side, supported by other 4 or 5 missiles to protect Israel. Huh? Okay, of course, we are in President Biden is going through political situation politically is not good, and near election and so on. There's little doubt that Iran knew, I would say from my view, about the supported and supported the attack. Iran has been Iran Shia, and I said earlier, both Shia and Muslim, they are 100% believe that Israel is occupying force. It is the manifestation of the Zionist dream, okay, to establish a legal entity within or inside the Arab holy places. Iran has been a supporter of Hamas since its establishment. Whether Iran wishes to increase its involvement directly, and I believe Iran is likely to get involved, particularly after Israel bombed the building next to their embassy in Syria. We are observers are expecting serious Iranian response, and this response, of course, can be on U.S. interests. We have 500 multinational U.S. multinational corporations they have centers and they have business, local business affiliation in the Muslim Arab world. The war also now between Hamas and Israel will reduce the prospects for Saudi Israeli deal. Saudi Arabia stated explicitly on the by its foreign minister that it will not resume any diplomatic communication with Israel until it will end its war or its fighting in Gaza, and until Israel will return for establishing return to the negotiating table toward the two states solution. Okay, Hamas and the Islamic Jihad surprise attack on Israel, from my view and many analysts, represents an unprecedented disruption to the status quo in the Middle East region, because the right-wing government, coalition government of Netanyahu, in public and even before he formed this latest government in the last 10 years, all his public statements was in favor of expanding the settlements and not allowing the Palestinians to have their own state. The crisis is okay. Yes, Hamas, I agree with you, is a terrorist organization. Okay, and what it did in the settlement around Gaza Israeli is not good. But the attacks by Hamas were not unprovoked, as the Israeli claim. They came against the background of the intolerable political situation in Gaza, the West Bank.
Hi, Professor.
Gaza,
You have
yes.
5 more minutes. If
Okay.
you want some question time, we can leave some for Q&A session.
Okay. Let us now go to very important issue, which is impact of South Africa genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice has confirmed by an overwhelming majority of its judges that the case introduced to it by South Africa, that the court has jurisdiction over it, and that Israel is violating its obligations in Gaza under the Genocide Convention, which Israel signed. Okay. On 26th of January 2024, the president of the International Court of Justice ordered the Israeli government to end all activities which is targeting civilians. Okay, targeting civilians. The order was adopted by 15 to 2. Okay. In some, Israel has not been asked to do anything that it does not already claim to be doing. Okay. By this decision, the ICJ puts the countries supporting Israel on notice, of course, including us, the USA. While today decision did not and was not intended to answer the question of whether Israel is committing genocide, the court held that at least some of the acts and omissions alleged by South Africa to have been committed by Israel is likely to be genocide. And today paper, Friday, April 5, 2024, President Biden is warning Israel after the death of relief workers, members of the Global Kitchen by Israeli forces. Okay. But of course, CG has no police to enforce its decisions. Okay, but the expected outcome for what is going on and Israel refusal to listen to the USA, its supporter is likely to hurt us, the USA. Okay, we have businesses all over the world. Okay, the ICJ criticism comes against a backdrop of UN hostility toward Israel. And by that, I end my presentation, and I look forward to hear any question.
Is there any question in person online? Okay, I do have one question. It's like, as we all know, that the USA politics has substantial influence on other areas and other countries. So where you project that the 2024 USA elections has some influence on the two-state solution you just proposed in your article?
Yes, of course, President Biden apparently by blindly supporting Israel will lose the Arab and Muslim vote in the USA, particularly in some key states like in Michigan, in Ohio, and in New York. Okay. In fact, when you follow his campaign, you'll find the votings that all almost all the Arab and Muslims, US citizens, they registered not committed. So this means they are giving him warning that if he will not take a fair position by Israel and the Palestinian, he will lose the Arab and Muslim vote.
Okay, there was one question online. Professor Ben Mayer's answer to my question an hour ago was very troubling. According to him, Jews from anywhere in the world, like myself born in Minnesota, can easily go to visit and live in Israel, but Palestinians born in Palestine and expelled from their homes, and whom the UN has always insisted have the right of return, will not be allowed to freely travel and live in the so-called Palestinian states he envisions. So I guess the Palestinian state will not be independent after all, but still controlled by Israel when it comes to the critical issues of who can come and go and who can live there. What do you think about this?
Okay, may please repeat the question again?
The question will be, the Palestinian state will not be independent after all, but still controlled by the Israel when it comes to the critical issue of who can come and go and who can live there. And what's your opinion about this?
Of course, this is very good question. The Arab Palestinian version of the new Palestinian state is to have full power over its land, and also has full state power, policing power, means that can issue visas to anyone who is willing to come and visit and stay, particularly Palestinians who left Palestine. So any configuration recommended by the Israeli government to create a state of Palestine with no power over the territory and power over its foreign relations and issue visas and residency will not be accepted by the Palestinian or the Arab countries.
Okay, is there any question online or in person? You hear the question?
No.
You can speak, ask again.
I don't understand why there would be Palestinian objection to having a sovereign Palestinian state in the region.
It will be no objection. The Palestinians, they want a sovereign Palestinian state, but Israel, under the current right wing of Netanyahu, refusing that. Okay.
Misunderstood. I thought you were saying that that Palestinians would object to having having a sovereign state, and I misunderstood. That's all. Okay.
No, the Palestinian, supported by the Arab and Muslim and the African country, they want sovereign Palestinian state with its own police power, with the capability of conduct its own foreign relations. Okay.
Okay, we have two more questions online, but I think we only have time for one question. I think we choose Fahad. Can you unmute yourself, Fahad?
Yeah, thank you very much. My question is related to the Arab Initiative 2002-2004. And all it says is for Israel to abide by international law, to go back to the borders of 1967, which is more than the borders of 1967 56 and 48. And to leave the settlements for Israel, it would be a very big change on the Israeli side, but then it would be in exchange for the right of return of the Palestinians, which is a huge compromise. On top of that, Israel would get a huge reward, diplomatic political relationships with all Arab and Muslim countries, including Iran, by the way. Iran approved it. And in addition to the economic development, etc. So the biggest gainer, in addition to the Palestinians, would be Israel, if it only can give up the dreams of expansion, apartheid, and colonization. Thank you.
Right. You are absolutely right. The Palestinian, the Arab and Muslim world will, they agree on that Israel borders has to be prior to 1967 war. And the establishment of all the settlement which happened after that, of course, with money, US taxpayers' money, is illegal. So actually, this is the problem of the US government. Okay, it is the US government is blind support of Israel led to this situation. So the US has to apply pressure on Israel to dismantle this settlement or keep it, but evacuate the Jewish Zionists from this settlement, okay, and to be left to the Palestinian, new Palestinian government. See, the problem with the settlement is that each settlement is a military base by itself. The way the settlement are built to constitute not only people they live to cultivate land or they have a small factory or whatever. No, the military, each settlement has military purpose and is built to constitute a threat to the surrounding Arab communities. So the issue of keeping the settlement or removing them, okay, the buildings, it should be decided through negotiations, okay? But I mean, Israel border shouldn't exceed the 1967 war, because here again, we have a large population, right and left Israeli population are similar to Hamas. You know, they believe that Israel should continue to expand its land so that it will end up from part of Egypt and part of and all Syria, Jordan, and to Iraq, Euphrates River.
Thank you. Thanks for your question and time and your presentation, Professor. Our next presentation will be at 10:50. You can go back to the program detail and click join the stream for our next presentation. And this presentation is over. Thanks for your time
Thank you very much.
and coming here. Thank you, everybody. See you later.